Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time since I've made my last tutorial. I am gonna be a little rusty with my English, so sorry for that. The last time we had the leg rig done. I have just copied the same setup for my left leg to my right leg, and this is the result. As you can see, we are now working with Blender experimental version 2.92, but it's all the same for the rigging process. We are going to make our spine control. The lower body will be controlled by some controller bones, and then we are going to move up in the spine and make a upper body control. Now I am selecting my skeleton, clicking on my tab key. Now we are in edit mode. I want to make two controller bones. To do that, we just need to click the tips of the bones, type E on the keyboard and epsilon to constraint the movement on the epsilon axis. I am going to set a length of 0.5 and hit enter. Next, you want to select the controller bones and hit Alt P and clear parent. I am going to do the same for the lower body, so select the junction point of the bones and extrude with the E key, then epsilon to constrain the movement, and 0.5 on my keyboard. Then select the bone and hit Alt P on the keyboard and clear parent. Now these bones are disconnected. As you can see, I have my mirror enabled. You can enable your mirror by typing N on your keyboard, going to Tools tab, and in the Options menu you will find the X-axis mirror. Now we will going to connect this bone to this bone. So you just need to select the upper leg bone and shift select the control bone, and then click Ctrl P and select keep offset. Because we have the X mirror active right here in the tools tab, the same thing is being repeated on the right side. Now we want to connect these two control bones to the lower body bone. We just need to select first the two leg control bones, and last shift select the lower body control bone, so Ctrl P and keep offset. As you can see, two dashed lines are showing us the connection of the bones. Now if we hit tab again, we can actually move this control bone, and all the lower part of the body rig is going to move. We can also rotate with R. If we try to move these upper leg bones, as you can see, the rig is going to be deforming in a weird fashion. So we can actually constrain the movement of these bones. To do that, we just need to go to the bones properties. If you look at the right of the input boxes for the location and rotation, we can actually lock these properties, and if you try to move now, only the size is going to change. You can actually lock that too, and then if you try to transform these bones, nothing is going to happen. But if you move the first control bone, as you can see, you can rotate, scale and move those bones. The child of this bone is affected by this locking mechanism, and of course the controlling bone has no locks, so we can do whatever we want with that bone. At this point we actually want to start and move up in our bone hierarchy and start to make controls for our spine. The process is the same. We actually want to go in our edit mode by pressing tab. I am going to select this upper body bone and hit E on the keyboard, and I want to constraint this movement on the epsilon axis. I am going to extrude with a value of 0.05. Hit enter. Then I am going to select the bones, Alt P, clear parent, Alt P, clear parent. I am clearing the parent because this bone is going to be free to move, because if we leave this bone connected to the spine, everything else is going to move that is connected to this bone in the hierarchy. Same thing for the base neck, so I'm going to show you how we can connect the spine to these control bones. And it's actually pretty easy. First, we need to select the bottom body bone, and we just need to go into bone constraint properties. We can add an IK constraint. In the first target input, we can select our rig, and then we are going to select this bone. If you don't know how this bone is called, you just need to go into the object data properties for the skeleton, viewport display, and enable the names. So this is now called spine 001. I am actually going to rename it, so we can select the bone, press F2 on our keyboard and type mid body underscore control. I'm going to call these hips control, and this one upper body control. Now we can go back to our spine bone. In the bone input, we can search for mid underscore body, and here it is, our bone. So select that. Remember to always change the chaining length to 1. In this case, I just want to control one bone, so the chain length 1 is good. And now we can try to move that spine bone, and it is moving correctly, following our bone. Now, same thing for the upper body control, so we're going to select the chest bone and add a bone constraint of type inverse kinematics, so IK. Target will be rig again, and bone will be upper body control. Chain length of 1, and now we can try to move our control bone. Now we can move our mid body control, and the upper body control is still controlling the chest bone, so we can make all mid body positions for our rig. Remember, this is a simple rig. We are keeping it simple for the sake of comprehension of this tutorial. Not every movement will be possible with this kind of rig, but I think that this is sufficient for making a simple game character. Okay, now as you can see, if I move my hips control right here, the upper body is not moving with that. So now we are going to connect that too. It is actually very simple. We just need to go into edit mode by pressing tab and select first the spine bone, and then shift select hips control, Ctrl P, and keep offset. Now, if we try to move again our hips control, as you can see, everything is moving accordingly. We also want to connect the hips to our hips control. So Ctrl P, keep offset. We just have a problem. When we move our hips control, our upper body and mid body control are remaining in this same position. So we're going to take this a little bit further because we want to have this control and another main control to move all these three controls in this fashion. So let's create another bone. We can go to edit mode and extrude again from our hips control, constraint to the epsilon axis, 0.05, and I'm going to hit a minus on my numeric pad to change the direction of the extrusion of the bone. Now we can select the bone, hit Alt P and clear the parent. This is going to be our upper body main control, so let's hit F2 and rename this bone. We are going to select the upper body control, mid body control and hips control, and lastly our main upper body control, and hit Ctrl P and keep offset. Now we can actually move all the upper body bones with this main upper body control, because every control is parented to this main upper body control. I actually want to limit this bone movement. I don't want this bone to be able to move, but just rotate. We just need to select the bone, go into the bone properties and lock the location. Now if you press G, you're going to see that you can only rotate this bone. If we move our upper body control, we can pose our body in this fashion, and we still have control on the hips positions for our rig. You can see that if I rotate my hips control bone, also my shoulders are rotating, because this spine bone is actually inheriting the rotation of the hips bone. To fix this problem, we can actually select the spine bone, go into our bone properties, and under the relations tab, as you can see, we have inherit rotation enabled, and we can disable that. And if we now rotate our hips, our shoulders are going to be fine. So for to reset our bones positions, we can just select our control bones and hit Alt G to reset our translation, and Alt R to reset our bones rotation to their respective original positions. Let's move up in our body hierarchy. Let's look at our shoulders. On my left shoulder, I have locked my location and also my epsilon rotations. So if I try to move with my G key, my shoulder, the shoulder is not actually moving, but it is rotating because our rotation is free. This way we can position our shoulders as we please. The shoulders are also parented to our chest bone. As you can see, if I select these two shoulder bones, two dashed lines are showing us that they are connected to our chest bone. So this upper body control is actually controlling also those two shoulders. Now we can move to our neck control, and I actually want to connect this neck bone to my upper body control. So let's go to edit mode and just do that. Select our neck bone, then shift select our upper body control, hit Ctrl P and keep offset. And let's try again to move our upper body control. Our neck is moving accordingly. I'm going to leave this bone free to move because I want to have a little bit of control on my neck length. I know it's a bit odd, but it can be pretty useful when you are animating your character for this kind of simple rig, of course. Now that we know that, we can move up and make a new control bone for our upper neck. I'm going to select this connection between the two bones, hit E to extrude and epsilon to constrain my movement, and then hit again 0.05. Hit enter, select the bone, Alt P and clear parent. Now I am going to parent this new bone that I will call neck control to the upper body control, Ctrl P and keep offset. And then I'm actually going to duplicate this neck control, hit Shift D, epsilon to constrain the movement, and move the bone forward. I am going to leave it right here, and I'm going to rename this to look IK and hit enter. And I am going to parent this to my neck control, so select look IK and then shift select neck control, Ctrl P and keep offset. And now we want to make a IK control for this neck bone. We just need to go to the bone constraint properties and add a new inverse kinematic constraint. For to target our rig for the bone, we're going to select our neck control bone. Then we're going to select 1 for our chain length. And now we can control our neck movement with our neck control. And also our head bone is tied to our neck bone, so we can actually rotate that to make our cool head positions. So let's try a bit our upper body control. Look IK is connected to our neck control, and the neck control is connected to our upper body control. If we move this bone, we can actually move everything that is connected to. Also rotate our head and neck, and we have also our neck control to make neck bending movements. And now we're going to connect our look IK. The head is going to look to our look IK. For to do that, we just need to select our head bone in pose mode and add a dampened track constraint. We just need to select our target, that will be rig, and again a new input bone is going to appear, and we can type look to select our look IK. Everything is messed up because we need to select the right axis for to make the bone to look at the right direction. I'm going to try a couple of axes until we hit the right one, and the right one is going to be our Z axis. And now if we move our look IK, the head is moving correctly, and looking at our look IK, we can also rotate our head, and still the look IK is going to work. I'm going to quickly hit Alt G to reset our positions and Alt R to to reset our rotations. So we can now test our rig and look if everything is working correctly. So I'm going to hit A to select everything, and then Alt G, R and S to reset all positioning, rotation and scaling of our bones. So we now have a base position for our rig and we can test it out. Okay guys, for this tutorial will be all. As you can see, I have positioned my tractor to a weird strange position like matrix style, avoiding pallets position. I don't always focus to make the perfect rig, just the perfect rig that works for me. So this is going to be just fine for my purposes. Well, thanks again guys to following me all this time. I have not been able to make videos for a long time, sorry for that, but now I can maybe start again to make some videos. So thanks again, see you in the next tutorial. Bye guys.